Hello and welcome to the Temple of Atal Hakar, also known as the Sunken Temple. This guy has quests for us. He wants us to kill that guy, he wants us to kill that guy, and he wants us to kill that guy. So by his name we will kill those guys. Now, this is a dungeon that used to be incredibly long in Cataclysm, but which Blizzard actually shaved down quite a fair bit come Cataclysm, which is fair enough. Nothing of particular value was lost. I think all they cut out was the stuff that made it quite... pardon me, the stuff that made it rather awkward in the first place. So, yay. Now it's just a straightforward... I think it's straightforward, yeah. See, there used to be like 3 tiers of height, and there were several mini-bosses, and that's not as interesting as it sounds. They were all just bosses that didn't do anything, and you had to clear them all out just for the privilege of fighting a boss, and then you had to do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it was just crazy. But now we just kill things, which is... we are familiar with that. We know how to kill things. We've been killing things since before we were born. I could make a very, 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 very dark joke out of that, but I won't, because I want to keep this palatable to all audiences. So, the mobs here, of course, green dragons. I'm not entirely sure what the deal with it is. Don't quote me on this, because I'm not 100% on the lore, but I am just willing to think that Blizzard didn't really know what they were doing with dragons come classic times. So you see like green dragons that are baddies, and red dragons that are baddies, and all of these baddies that you have to kill of all colours. And black dragons have always been bad, but these other dragons, they've been bad too. But then come Wrath of the Lich King time, all the other dragons became our friends, and there was no real explanation for it. I mean, in classic raiding, there's a raid, and Courage in fact, where you help out the bronze dragons, and you gain reputation with them. And your default state before you gain reputation is hated. So it seems like the dragons really didn't like us until Wrath of the Lich King, when suddenly we're all best friends, except for the black dragons. And again, could make racial jokes out of that, but I won't, because I want to be palatable to all audiences. So, whether or not these are like corrupted green dragons, or we genuinely are doing something that they're not happy with, or whether green dragons were just nasty at this point and Blizzard decided later on to make them not, I don't know what's going on. But what this is, God, what's his name? Hakar! His name is Hakar. And he is not an old god, but he's something to do with the old gods. He's like an old troll god who was affiliated with the old... pardon me, gods. And when I say this, I mean the skeleton. We are not going to fight him now per se, we're going to fight a shade of him. The actual him no longer exists, but in Vanilla Cataclysm, in Vanilla WoW, there was a raid called Zul'Gurub, in which Hakar, the Blood God, was the final boss, and he is legendary when it comes to... Anyone know how we summon this guy? Hang on a second. The Blood God Hakar... place this egg in that sanctum. I got an egg, apparently. Where's the egg? Here we go! So, this is going to be a little gauntlet. It's just going to be trash. We have to put out this blood... Oh! Okay, the gauntlet's gone, apparently. It's just us versus the boss. That's fine. There used to be an event where he was slowly phasing into existence, and we had to fight off all these waves of trash, and some of the waves of trash would drop blood, and we needed to put out these flames with the blood, and only then would he come forth so we could kill him. But that's all gone, apparently. But anyway, the original Hakar, the full-on body of Hakar that was in Zul'Gurub, he is legendary for causing a genuine bubonic plague-like effect within World of Warcraft. It looks like he mind controls, so be wary of that. But yes, he had this spell called Corrupted Blood, where one of your raid members in that raid would gain corrupted blood. They'd take about 300 damage per second or something like that, and they had to stay away from all their friends because they would spread it to anyone near them. And the way the fight works was that... oh, what a shame. But grats anyway. The way the fight worked was that one of his moves was that he'd drain the blood from a random target, and the person with corrupted blood had to run in front of that target so that he drained the corrupted blood and got hurt. That sort of thing was going on. But there was a bug initially where hunter pets and warlock pets and such things would still have the corrupted blood effect after you left the raid. Normally it would just go away. It had no time or anything, it lasted forever, but it would go away when you died or when you left the raid, but hunter pets still had it. So, what happened was that people would finish their raid, they'd hearth into, say, Orgrimmar or Stormwind or something, and their pets would be infected, they'd immediately infect them and infect everyone else around Orgrimmar, and it lasted a couple of weeks, and World of Warcraft became properly unplayable. You'd log into entire servers, and just the streets of Orgrimmar would be littered with skeletons, and people had to avoid major cities and hide away and stay reclusive, and this disease really was killing off the player population. Of course, there were some malicious ones who were deliberately spreading the disease, some who were trying to avoid it, and basically, this was so cool and noteworthy that an actual scientific institution, I forget which one, but they've actually got all the recordings, the server recordings of everything that was going on, and they're using it to log what might actually happen in the world if an actual pandemic happens, you know, people's behaviour, the avoiding of cities, some who would deliberately spread it, how best to combat diseases or avoid diseases in that case, and it was really very cool. And you know, something that amazing is just, it's probably not going to happen again in terms of MMOs, because that was just a very unique and very cool glitch that I wish I was around to see. I say I wish I was around to see. I think everyone playing it at the time was just majorly pissed off because they couldn't play because they kept dying, but I still think it would have been a cool thing to be a part of. Blizzard sort of tried to artificially replicate it before Wrath of the Lich King came out with a sort of zombie apocalypse thing that lasted a week. Your characters could get plague, at which case you turn into a zombie. Whoops. I've got to go to this guy first. Your characters could get plagues, in which case they turn into a zombie, and then you could pass it on to other characters, and it got more and more virulent each week, each day. The first day you'd be plagued for 2 minutes before turning into a zombie, and all you needed was for some paladin or whatever to cast Cure Disease and it would be fine. The next day you were only plagued for like 1 minute, then 30 seconds, then 10 seconds, and it just got worse and worse and worse until the Argent Crusade, or the Argent Dawn, found the cure for it in terms of the story. And it was pretty cool, I quite enjoyed it, but again, a lot of players were just getting pissed off then, like, you know, I'm trying to do my auctions, and zombies keep pouring into the auction house and slapping me silly. It's not cool, Blizz. So yeah, that is just a cool piece of WoW history that was cool. And just the fact that a computer game bug is being used as proper scientific study is just incredibly amusing to me. That's just something special. Still, that's enough about that and Hakkar and his awesomeness. I believe in the new Zul'Gurub, in the 5-man, he still exists, but sort of like a spirit, and the fight is completely different. Anyway, what am I going to say? Yes, this fellow, the Prophet Jagurdur, he is of course Hakkar's prophet, and he comes to spread the good word of Hakkar. You know, if you worship this god, you will get a horrible disease that will kill everyone and invoke scientific interest, which I think is fair enough, but obviously the quest givers don't agree, so we're going to have to kill him, which is fine by me. Now, these guys used to have a fear, and you sort of had to pull back lest you pull the whole room, but it seems like that's gone. What they still do, however, is turn into ghosts. Now, these ghosts cannot be killed. They do a significant amount of damage, though, or they used to. This cat is just barely being scratched. But they used to really take chunks of your HP off, and you just had to avoid them until they died, like a minute later or something. Nothing really difficult, just a minor annoyance, but it looks like they nerfed the damage they do quite a lot. That, or pets, just have huge armor rating. Oh, there's the fear, fair enough. Is he going to pull the boss? No, but he is going to pull that guy. Right. AoE taunt. Go me! Look at my tanking, staying all calm, doing good things. Let's pull them back a bit, so as this fear does not become too problematic. You! You're on the healer, come to me, please. Ah, good old-fashioned, never-ending slaughter. It is my favourite kind, my absolute favourite kind. Oh no, there are ghosts after me! This is terrible, this is horrible, this is scary. And my revenge has... No, it's back! Awesome. I changed target, and that's why my revenge went away. But I swapped back to the original target, and I was allowed to be as OP as I wanted. Silence! You high priest. Only a priest of evil. Yeah, it looks like those ghosts aren't really even worth running away from now. So let's take on this last little pack before we go on to Jamalan the Prophet and his little friend Ogom the Wretched. Who is, I think he's just there to be an extra annoyance. I don't remember Ogom the Wretched himself doing anything particularly tactical, which is fair enough. Okay, so that's just 3 spirits. We'll just avoid them for a bit. Of course, the cat will continue to give it a very good go. Right, well, Jamalan is orange, so this might be very frustrating for me, but let us see how it goes, baby. Voice acting, you say? Fantastic. Oh, wait. Bosses are always voice acted. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway. So, he heals, he binds. He does nothing, basically. Oh no, he's mind-controlled me. But now he's dead. That's fine. That was a brief worry, but it turned out to be very much a false alarm. So now we'll take on Ogom, for he's the one doing the binding. Fair enough. Well, that's Ogom's role in life then. Those are very nice for casters. I coveted them muchly as Spodwick. What's this then? 1 hand, 6 stamina. Meh. I don't go in for these weapons with cheesy chance on hit effects. Classic WoW seems to be riddled with them, but you just don't see them at all in Burning Crusade. Maybe you see them once or twice, but not really much, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing of the type. Well, there are some chance on hit with, say, legendary weapons, like in Wrath of the Lich King onwards. Legendary weapons have a chance on hits to do something awesome, but that's in conjunction with good stats, rather than instead of good stats. Which is, oh gosh, I didn't get Jamalan's head. Sorry. Forgot his head. Hopefully they will forgive me. Oh! Oh my. Okay, well this boss, these bosses, Dream Scythe and Weaver, they come when you kill Jamalan, so I'm going to have to deal with that, aren't I? And then I'll go get his head. Seems that they don't chain pull or anything, they're completely separate of each other, and as far as tactics go, they just spew. They have a chance to drop an epic, I think. Right. Hang on. I'll get that noggin. Oh, here's. But yes, I'm sure they have a very small chance to drop. It's either an epic robe or an epic sword. I can't remember. There are quite a few weird level 50 epics spread around. Spodwick got one once, my healer. He got the robe. It was like Serpent Dream robe of something. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good indeed. And here we go! Got it! Hopefully they didn't mind that derp o' mine. Now let's go and finish off Dream Scythe, Weaver's friend. It's a shame you can't mount up, because this place is pretty big. Pretty big. You know what I like doing? When you've like done a raid for a week, not a looking for raid, because they just respawn all the time, but a proper raid that is locked for a week once you do it. I must confess, I rather enjoy just exploring the raid in question once you're done, when they're all just empty and cavernous and huge. It's rather cool. I mean, I remember when Cataclysm was in its beta, and Uldum wasn't finished yet, and there were no mobs in it. Uldum was cool as hell then. I wasn't in the beta, but I saw a video of someone exploring it. Just this huge empty desert, with the huge empty pyramids and the huge empty underground areas, and it was so cool. See, yeah, that used to be a hole that led down to a whole other place. That's just gone now, which is fair enough. But yeah, I am digging the huge emptiness of what these places are when they're cleared. Wouldn't go so far as to say I don't like them as much when they have stuff in them, but still, they are just very cool when empty. And if you don't believe me, purchase a subscription to World of Warcraft, clear a dungeon at some point, a nice looking one, and then look around it. You will find yourself pleasantly soothed. Especially if either the dungeon itself has some nice atmospheric music, or you can supply your own. So there's a boss, another two dragons, Hazas and Morphaz. All I know of Morphaz is that he used to be related to a priest-only quest that I don't think exists anymore, but it might do actually. I don't think they've got rid of those. But yeah, at level 50, there is a class-specific quest to do with this dungeon, or at least they used to be. At level 50, there used to be a class-specific quest that related to Sunken Temple, and it would be to kill something or do something, and you just get a really nice bit of gear for your class for a level 50, and it was quite cool. And priests, it was killing Morphaz. I know one class had to collect Juju or Voodoo or something, but thinking about it, they probably don't exist anymore, these class quests, because most of the, most of the class-specific stuff was in the, 2 layers of dungeon that have been removed. It was like, kill all 7 of these boring mini-bosses and take 1 feather from each of their heads and that sort of thing. So, probably gone, but that is at the very least what Morphaz used to be for. Now they drop loot. I'm sure they didn't used to drop loot, so that's nice, Blizzard. That's nice. Pardon me. Oh, gosh. Much loot. I'm pretty sure we dropped... Pretty sure one of those dropped one of those. I guess all of these 4 dragons share loot. Anyway, this is the final boss, Shade Veranigus. He used to be pretty tough. He'll probably still be fairly tough. Ah. He has a thing where he summons every single dragon we've yet to kill to him. Well, doesn't summon, but aggroes them. So if I've left any alive, we'll see them. But yes, you used to have to clear the whole place lest there be trouble, and back in the day the place was a lot bigger. Hopefully that won't be an issue now. And that is the extent to the professionalism with which I'm going into this, just hoping that it won't be a problem. I am the Qui-Gon Jinn. The Qui-Gon Jinn of dungeons. I have been put to sleep. This is normal. He will put the tank to sleep and have a chomp on someone else for a bit. I'll just taunt him when I wake up. Taunt! And good old Hunter is alive. No dragons seem to be coming for us. That's fine. That's fine. Let's carry on then. And that's basically all that happens. He does a fair bit of damage, he poisons you, and he puts the tank to sleep every now and then to have a little go at someone else. And I'm pretty sure the aggro resets when he does this as well. Which is why... Don't run that far away, friend, or I won't be able to reach him. And there we go! Absolutely stunning. So, that is a nice wand for a caster. What is this? That's not for me! But it could be. Right. And we're out of combat, so there are no big dragons coming for us. So, thank you for the run! Let's do the old teleportation trick to get our quests handed in. So yes, previously a mammoth dungeon, reduced to a not-so-mammoth one, but trust me, nothing especially sacred was lost. I mean, the downstairs area, I quite liked that, because there was a nice big boss in there that was a nice berserker troll. Those big muscular trolls, back at a time when you didn't really see many of those, and that was quite cool. But Blizzard decided that they don't deserve to be. And in fairness, you did have to solve a really weird... Ooh, what's this? Well, I don't have any trinkets yet, so I may as well wear that. So that's a trinket that does a negligible AoE poison that I'll never use. But it increases my haste rating, which it didn't used to do. Yeah, it used to be green and didn't have that haste rating. It also used to be related to a quest that Blizzard never actually bothered to finish. There was going to be a whole quest line involving returning the Shade of Aranicus to an actual Aranicus, and there was going to be a whole big thing, but they never finished it, so lots of players were just holding on to this essence, hoping that eventually it'd do something, and it never did. But anyway, thank you for watching this dungeon. I will see you in a bit for the next part of Blackrock Depths, and as always,
For the Horde!
I'll see you later.